Hello and hey, Taylor messing around with golf with your friends. This time going to be the Worms Classic Guide. This is a course that I was not expecting at all, and I've kind of been sitting on these shots for a little while. However, haven't really found the time to do this guide. But we get right into it. Hole number one, going to aim to just to the right of the bullseye, kind of on the red ring around the bullseye at full power. Hole number two, going to aim at that far mine down there. Want to get our cursor just to the right of the top of that red piece there. It's a pretty specific shot, but you mess around with it, you'll find it in no time at all. Hole number three, any number of powers kind of gets you here, but I like to go 3.5 and just kind of feather it as to avoid any weird bounces or seam hits between the different pieces of ground. Hole number four, I once hit a weird spot, so now we go 1 up and 4 over, bouncing off of this wall, touching that bowl, and getting down in there without any issue. Hole number five, this can be kind of particular, but if you kind of just pay attention to what you're doing, we're going to aim right here at this junction at just less than 3 power. There's a few pixels of power that work, so don't beat yourself too hard about it, but it is kind of specific. Hole number 6, this is a really cool shot. I really enjoy this. We're going to go just about 2.5 power, kind of aiming at the bottom right of the treasure chest here. We want to use our boost, the jetpack, immediately to get up over that rock, and then you can kind of just feather it or, make sure you get in the bowl any way you can here, as I had a little bit too much power heading into the bowl. I wanted to make sure I came back and didn't embarrass myself. Hole number 7, there's probably something, like I was messing around with this and was able to get in one shot over the hole. However, I have found a nice little workaround in just 2 pretty simple shots, just 1 full power, I should say, all the way down at that edge, getting us down here, and then we want to aim again at this sort of dark intersection at just about 3.5, just under 3.5 power, and sometimes a bit left of the intersection here, which is a pretty specific set of 2 for a hole that I believe can be hole-in-one, but it's where I'm at. And speaking of holes that I think can be hole-in-one with cool and crazy shots, this is it, but I don't have that shot for you just yet. There is a dark little patch here that I'm just touching with the edge of my cursor, all the way zoomed in, and we're going to go ahead and wait so that a bomb drops on us after we've completely stopped, which will launch us over here into this path and give us an easy opportunity for a 2 instead of having to play the long way around. Again, I think there's a hole-in-one in here somewhere. I just haven't gotten around to try to find it. Hole 9, there's kind of a tricky shot you can pull off to get exploded by that bomb, but we're just going to go back to hole 4, just under 3 power, aiming just right of the flagstick. You can be on the flagstick, just make sure you have a little bit of right to it, otherwise you will bounce out of the hole to the left. But until they fix that, that's what the shot is. Hole 10, taking a look at this crate. We're going to go just left of the bolt on the bottom, or kind of in line with the right side of that particular line. Pretty straightforward, not super specific. You'll get it. Hole 11, I was messing around with the possibility of getting a hole-in-one with one of these kind of shots, kind of bounce off the wall, and there's a barrel on the bottom level that you can bounce off of to get close to the actual hole. I was unable to do it, but I think it's possible. However, for our purposes, we'll go full power, kind of aiming at the end of the wooden part over the top with the barbed wire on it. You can kind of see I paused there for a while for people to get their own reference points, but that's where I was aiming at. And this is going to be a tricky shot because you have to be super specific, but it's just about 3 1/3 has found me getting that shot more times than not. Hole 12 had some crazy stuff happen on the first attempt, but we're going to go ahead and launch it right in front of this sheep. And it's okay if this guy hits us as long as we're in the far part of this area, because we'll just end up in a different spot. There is a tiny bowl down there, and I do think, again, that this hole can be hole-in-one. But until that point, here's an easy 2. I know I messed up the first one, but did pretty good so far. Hole 13, this one could be kind of tricky, if only because the jetpack feels it's kind of weird sometimes. So you want to just kind of feather your boost until you're able to get that one, and sometimes you'll just have too much speed. I'm not doing this one justice enough. It can be kind of difficult, but getting over there for an easy 2 is definitely simple. This hole, we have a long time to talk, so just right of this kind of where the 2 pieces of wood meet, if you go right at it, you have a chance of going through it, so that's why we go a little bit to the right. It's not necessary for the shot. And then after that, there is a light intersection that we're aiming at right now. Leave it on there for a second, full power. Because we're getting shot out in very specific spots, you can kind of leave these shots exactly in the same place every single time we do it. And last but not least, we want to go to right about here. It's not ultra specific. This is like the most specific of the shots, and because it has a less defined reference point. But as you see, we're able to get in there, and that gets us down for a easy 3. Hole 15, do not be dissuaded by the stroke count, and I'm also probably missing something, but we like to go full power at this beam. There's kind of a noticeable like notch taken out of it, so we go ahead and go for that. And then for the second shot, I want to go ahead and go like 1 tile over and almost full power. This enables us to get up onto the second level and have a chance at this barrel, which you'll want to hit basically as straight on as you can, but there is the danger of going too far and coming back and missing the shot. And so I did, but a 3 is possible for sure. Maybe that statue can be involved for a lesser stroke count. However, that's just kind of something I'm playing around with. The very next hole, this is a not conventional, not super useful shot to get into an easy 2. It did take me 2 tries. There's a little bit of chug going on with me recording at the same time. Hope that's not the case for everybody. I think I was just having some issues though with some like drivers and stuff. But we're gonna go ahead and just go right off the edge, bounce back. You do need to clear that little lip, so a little bit of extra usage of the jetpack is good. And with this hole being kind of over where I'm looking right now, it is a little bit difficult to find out what the shot's going to be, because there does seem to be just like an invisible wall kind of blocking us off from getting to any sort of 2s. I'm not saying that's impossible, it's just what was my experience. So this is what I was looking at. This is not the shot per se, so just keep that in mind. But we just hit the invisible wall, so not entirely sure what we're trying to do. I want to go ahead and use the rest of my boost. I forgot that I wasn't going to reset all the beginning, so let's go ahead and do that. Kind of a more natural 3 is going to be just under 3 power here. Kind of floating up. Kind of want to keep as much of that boost as you possibly can, obviously. This is not a super specific shot. You don't have to worry too much about it. We just kind of want to land either right in front of the ramp, or actually falling down is okay as long as you hit like towards the middle. But we're good here. Zoom out for the flag stick. You kind of want to aim either just like right at it or just left of it. I think I'm aiming a bit too far left, but because I don't have that much to feather, we'll see how it goes right here. So obviously I missed that. I'm not going to restart it because I already showed the one thing. Show us the 3 is possible. It's just a matter of converting it. I just missed the shot more than the concept was wrong. And then last but certainly not least, we want to aim a half tile to the right. Go ahead, full power, just let it rip. There's probably some way to trick this out a little bit better. However, I don't know it yet. So we're going to aim at the right side of the point of this kind of shaded part. We want to make sure the bomb isn't going to fall right on top of us, and we have to make sure that the lamb, the sheep, whatever, isn't going to knock us into oblivion. Which will, more than most times at least, get us to the bottom of this ramp, which we will, from this spot, need to take a little bit off of full power and then make sure that we kind of go when the bomb that is in front of the hole is dropping. So this is kind of a complicated way to say it. It's not a complicated shot. It's a really straightforward situation, but like, just to give you guys all the context for that, that's how you get the 3, the albatross. And that's this course. It's a pretty simple, straightforward course once you get acquainted with it. If you've seen this video, so you're having any sort of trouble with it, you can apply any of these concepts pretty easily. There's not too many very specific shots, which is nice. I was really afraid we're going to have another space situation where the back 9 was just going to get crazy. especially after a very fun and playable front nine. But I think this course visually is great. I think the course plays very well, especially once you get a few rounds under your belt. And I saw there wasn't any other videos on this. At least, sorry, one YouTube search showed no results for the videos that I was looking for this. So I hope this can help somebody, you know, get people going, get some ideas percolating for the additional holes, additional hole-in-ones, because I know that I always miss something in my first draft. So apologies, I'm kind of having to rush this out. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments, all that fun stuff, and I will be sure to answer it. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be safe, guys.